support options.
We are back now with our series honoring our military today as we head into Memorial Day weekend. And this morning, we have a touching story about a Marine veteran who made a heroic decision.
Yeah, it's been said that you don't get a second chance to make first impressions. Well, not so in the case of two men who were once bitter rivals, but are now close friends. Their bond solidified by a life-saving gift. Pool is a game of angles, and competition can be fierce. Take James Harris and Russ Redhead. At a pool tournament in the Washington, D.C. area about 10 years ago, the two had a falling out.
I thought he was cheating, so I made a really nasty Facebook post.
At the time, James didn't say anything in response. He didn't have to.
Right after I posted it, I got a whole bunch of people messaging me, being like, yo, you need to take that down. James isn't that kind of guy. A couple months later, I saw him at another pool tournament, and so I went up to him and I, apologized.
They became friends, but when James's kidneys started failing after he got COVID in 2020, he didn't tell anyone. He's a very private man, and even though he was behind the 8 ball, he wouldn't ask for help.
I just didn't want to burden people. I could never ask somebody to do that.
But you needed a kidney to live.
Yeah.
But you still weren't going to...
No.
His wife, Denise, tried to donate one of her kidneys, but she wasn't eligible. So, instead of a kidney, she gave James her voice.
So I was like, I'll be your voice. Are you good with that? And he said, yeah. I don't know if he knew what I was going to, really do.
Sure. Because James wasn't out there. James wasn't out there asking for a kidney.
No. He didn't even tell anybody he was sick.
News of James's illness took his old rival turned friend Russ by surprise. But when Denise told him James needed a kidney, Russ had a surprise of his own.
And I was like, well, I'll do it. And she was like, you'll do what? And I was like, well, I'll donate. And she was like, are you serious? Yeah, I was like, why not? She started bawling, crying. I went over and I just gave her a hug. I'm like, it's gonna be okay.
You see, Russ knows about sacrifice. He was wounded as a Marine during combat in Iraq, and while he went through all the testing, James never got his hopes up. In his experience, you never know which way things will break. In the end, Russ was a match. In February, the night before the surgery, Russ stayed over. You had a sleepover here the night before the surgery. Then, of course, you wound up at the pool table. How'd that go?
Before we even started, I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I'll play you for a kidney.
So, I mean, you had to win. That was the most important game of your life. James won that game, and the next day, ahead of the surgery, they had hospital beds next to each other. What was that scene like?
For me, it was still unreal. I'm scared to death because we're ready to go in a procedure. He's in there having a good time and cracking jokes. I'm like, dude, you don't know we're ready to go in here to surgery.
The surgery was a success, and everyone has recovered. If you ask Russ, he did what anyone else would do.
When you step outside of yourself and put yourself in that person's position, all I wanted to do was help.
Russ jokes that having one of his kidneys is certain to make James a better pool player. James is just grateful to have another shot at life.
I just felt blessed.
Blessed. Yes. You got 2 people here who saved your life. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Finally, a game where everybody involved came away a winner.
Wow.
James and Russ actually said they plan on partnering up and playing as a pair in future pool tournaments. Russ set to open his own pool hall in Pennsylvania this fall. But again, none of it would have happened had Denise not been an advocate for her husband.
That's the thing. It's about that advocacy.
And you know what else I think it's important to have stories like this, because you see they're okay.
Yes.
I mean, people are afraid to lose one. You're like, what if I may need it? I mean, I understand. But then when you see that they're good, they're okay, they're living their lives, you're like, okay.
And it was worth it.
Wow,
was
that
worth
was a great story.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thanks
All
to
right.
them as well.
All right, coming up, Allie Love is here to help us stay on top of the holiday travel rush. She's walking us through her favorite essentials to help us pack.